The other thing is remember that when Aquinas did his sentences commentary, his doctoral dissertation, and let's say I think he published in maybe 1255. He was working on it 1252. If I have my dates right or wrong, I can't remember anymore. But at any rate, in his discussion in Book 1, he's quite explicit in two places, which are used by the Franciscans to say that Thomas Aquinas is actually the origin of the formal distinction. In one place, he says quite explicitly, and I've marked these down in my doctoral dissertation, which God willing one day will be published. He quite explicitly says that hoarseness and humanity in God are two distinct ideas. That position is gone by the time you get to the Summa Theologiae. God does not have the idea of hoarseness and humanity in the divine mind. He just has the thinking thought. He's just knowing himself, his own essay. There is no explicitation of humanity and hoarseness. And he commits himself to that in two separate questions in Book 1 of the Sentences. So you'll see his Neoplatonism is gradually being weeded out by his more and more stringent commitments to divine simplicity, to the point where Augustine gets squeezed out in Book 1 of the Summa Contra Gentiles. Now, I'll tell you, I need to be honest, is every Dominican of the East Coast province that's listening to me right now thinks that I should probably be denounced to a ecumenical council and probably burn at the stake. So I certainly think that their voice needs to be heard on the different interpretation of that, but that's how I read that.
I guess I don't see a major contradiction here, or at least there doesn't have to be one, at least in my understanding, because, okay, if God knows himself, he also knows every way in which a creature can participate in himself, and he can think of this
Which
onto
would Mhm.
infinity. So he can know an infinite amount of numbers. He can distinguish between hoarseness and humanness. And so I guess I don't see a major contradiction between here, Augustine and Aquinas.
I think that the reading that would have been done on this, the scholarly reading that's already been done on this, was going to emphasize the difference between knowing something virtually. By
Hmm.
virtue of knowing himself, he knows it, but that's
Yeah.
only declared that he knows it, versus
Hmm.
saying that he contemplates hoarseness and he contemplates humanity.
Hmm.
So this is the difference: is does he see it directly, or does he see it in virtue of his essence?
Hmm.
In the sentences, the distinction seems to be God actually compares the two ideas with one another, hoarseness and
Hmm.
humanity, and knows them as distinctly separate. And the mature position of Aquinas is going to be no, he knows himself, and as there are created possibilities, let's say in the universe, he for the universe, or there are divine ideas like goodness, he knows them only as a relation, right? That that he is that he doesn't know them as distinct ideas in himself. He
But
knows
we
them as related to him because he knows them in himself,
but we seem to know them as distinct ideas. So
which is an
there's
imperfection for us.
is it because it seems like we know something that God wouldn't in that case.
Uh,
Distinct concept.
yeah, and I think that a Thomist, as I understand the common reading of him, is going to respond that because he knows his essence perfectly,
Hmm.
by virtue of knowing the essence, all, let's say, possible beings created from him are known, and all necessary ideas in the universe, let's say, a necessary idea might be goodness or oneness or truth.
Hmm.
They're declared as logically necessary for him to know because those things have to be known by a perfect being, but they're not going to get into the jot and tittle of saying he knows those ideas by contemplating those ideas in the
Mm.
divine mind. He's simply related to them by virtue of the fact that they really are ideas in the divine mind, and they're related to him by the fact that they are virtually in his essence, and by knowing his essence, he by implication knows them.
But he doesn't, I guess, actively think of them,
That's right. He
if
would
I'm
not
asking it correctly.
contemplate them. Yeah. So
Mm.
whereas you and I might think, humanity, we're doing our meditation, and then we'll switch to divinity, and we're doing our meditation. God never actually, he's just going me, 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 me. And as he's eternally going me, 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 he virtually has all those ideas in himself. Somehow he has all the scale in his me, 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 whereas you and I have to go up and down the scale.